Hi everyone, thank you that you have chosen this session. It will be AI free, so you won't hear words like Sitecore AI or agents or whatsoever. So you can just sit, relax, and we will just talk about some old-fashioned Sitecore XP and XM upgrade of certain solutions in just a couple of weeks or months. So if you don't know me, I'm Peter Procházka. I recently joined Velux as a CMS platform lead. I'm leading more than 5 teams, and we have more than 17 Sitecore solutions, out of which those 13 we have upgraded. I'm also 8 times Sitecore MVP since 2019, and I live in a small town in Slovakia. So if you wish, you can follow me. You can follow my blog, or you can write me on LinkedIn or Twitter or X, how it's named now. So what I have prepared for you today, we will talk about why we had to upgrade, what was the plan, how we executed it, and what were the results. So why we had to upgrade or not. So it was beginning of June last year when we have identified that we have still certain solutions that were using Sitecore 9.3 XP. Just to refresh our memory, that version was already released in November 2019, so pretty old one. The mainstream support ended at the end of 2022, and the extended support was about to end at the end of last year. If you would like to know more about product lifecycle support of Sitecore, then you can just Google it and or ask ChatGPT, and you will show for your exact version how it is, how you can, what are the support tiers. So on top of Sitecore 9.3, of course, we have identified some vulnerability packages because of the usage of Sitecore 9.3, of course. And also some of the solutions were pretty old, back in Sitecore 7 updated to Sitecore 8, then to 9, or Sitecore 8 updated to 9. So of course they had some legacy, some history that we also wanted to address. And also one of the pain points was that there was a low observability. There was some custom logging functionality that was used on these solutions, and it was pretty hard to do some monitoring on top of it and so forth. And also it was not a scalable solution, of course, and also not performant. So locally it was working, but if you had a performant side, it was crashing a lot. Yeah, so I guess we had to do some upgrades, right? So what was the plan and how we executed it? Except of these 3 pain points that I mentioned already, basically also we wanted to somehow modernize and clean up the solutions because they had some legacy that we also wanted to address. So in Velux, there was an unwritten rule of thumb that we only can use the second latest version of Sitecore. At that time, it was basically 10.3 because only the latest one was 10.4, so we had to use 10.3. Luckily for us, at the end of June last year, Sitecore released 10.4.1, which brought and addressed the biggest issue of the previous versions, and that is the Solar 8. And basically, they finally supported also Solar 9 and also a bunch of other stuff that was updated. So after some back and forth meetings, finally I convinced my managers that we should go with the latest version, although of that unwritten rule that we had. You can do upgrades not only for Sitecore, but basically for anything with lots of options in mind. But basically 2 of them are most notable, I would say, or most used ones. It's an in-place upgrade and side-by-side upgrade. In-place upgrade is maybe good for your local instances, or if you are not concerned about downtime, which I think everybody is, right? So of course, the side-by-side is usually the one that is preferred, which is has some really nice benefits because it's lower risk, right? There is no downtime actually because you are just switching the load balancers, right, to the new instances in theory. And also the only issue is, or drawback is that you have some costs involved. For us, as we were still using Azure VMs, it was basically not needed. So there were no additional costs because we were just adding new app pools, folders. So we were just creating a couple of new instances. Not couple, but yeah, I will talk about this later on. So yeah, we have chosen the side-by-side, of course. we have done it in two ways. There was a developer part or development part, and there was an infrastructure part. In the development part, basically, we always, for each and every solution, we had to instantiate new Sitecore 9.3, also 10.4.1. So we had like a nice baseline of the old solution and also of the upgraded, so we can easily compare, right? For us, we also did, although we were doing upgrade, we also did downgrade. So from XP, we went down to XM. It was easier one because basically in those solutions, we were not using personalization, analytics, forms, and all of this stuff. These were already were replaced by other solutions, by custom ones or so forth. And also we had XDB or XConnect already disabled. So it was like a no-brainer which version we should use for Sitecore 10.4.1. Also, we have upgraded .NET Framework, Sitecore CLI, although that's a funny thing, Sitecore 9.3 is not officially supporting CLI. We were using it already on all of those solutions, luckily for us. So also this step was already done upfront. So all of the TDS packages were more or less replaced by CLI. So this was also cool. So it also eased the work for us for the upgrade. Then we also upgraded or changed the references of the nuggets, and there were a couple of incompatibility issues that we had to resolve and some breaking changes, but I will talk about them later on. Regarding the observability, we have fixed it by introducing a new nugget into our solutions, and that was the support for the application insights, which is not by default, but for the XP and XM, if you are installing it on Azure VMs, it's only part of the app services. So we had to create our own solution to make it work with application insights. So this definitely help us. I will create some blog posts about that, and you can also expect some GitHub repo with this. So if you wish, you can basically take it and use it. We basically were doing this for all of those 13 solutions, and also we had to upgrade our 11 Sitecore libraries that we are reusing throughout all of these solutions. So it's like a integration with CRM systems. There is some specific Solar functionality that we have, and also we have like a custom language bar. So all of these also had to be upgraded. So not only those couple of solutions. In the infrastructure part, it was like a long list of things that the infrastructure team had to do because we were using Azure VMs, right? So they had to back up the existing databases, upgrade them. They had to set up a new instances on test, QA, and prod for every single solution. For test environment, we had 2 instances, CM and CD. For QA and prod, we had always 5. So for each solution, we had like 12 different instances for every single one of them. They also, as we were following the configuration as code, they also had to create a new set of configs for every single instance. They also had to create a new build or provision the new build and release pipelines. They had to provision new Azure application insights, also Solar instances and all of that stuff. And we were also using a nice naming convention, basically, that we were adding 10 as an infix for the URL, so we can easily compare what was old, what was new. And basically, once we finished the upgrade, we have just changed those URLs back to without the 10. So the ones became the new ones. So this is like an example of the Gantt chart, basically, that we were following. It's only for the 2 solutions, as you can see. So we were having like a stages for dev upgrade, and then basically in the meantime, for some of the other solutions, infrastructure team was already preparing test, QA, and prod environments. So what were the results? So out of these 13 solutions, we went all the way to production with all of them, but we only did 12 go lives because for one of the solution, there was a decision made that as they are already migrating the content and functionality to some AKS solution that we also have, basically there is no point to do 2 go lives in matter of 2 months. So we have decided that we will just live with Sitecore 9.3 for that solution for next 2 months. So and we will just pray that everything will be good this year, so we don't need Sitecore support for that instance. But it worked out well, so yeah, luckily for us. We have also upgraded those 11 libraries. The infrastructure team had to create 156 instances. They were doing it by hand all the time. I was asking them to somehow automate it, with AI, with whatever. They somehow refused, so they had to really create it by hand all the time. The same also for the configurations, and they also created like around 40 application insights instances. 120 dBs and also solar core. So it was really like a massive project. If you are asking what happened between some of these months, so it was June. In July, we did some discovery and planning phase where we were more or less searching for those solutions, trying to somehow get into them, how they are working, how they are similar. And basically, we were 3 developers and we have somehow divided the work. So we have upgraded the similar solutions between us, right? So it just more or less made sense because we could use some lessons learned from the already upgraded solutions, right? And then basically the upgrade itself took only 4.5 months from August to January, 4.5 because there was a winter, holiday. So for 3 weeks we were doing basically nothing. So yeah. So we were 3 developers, 7 infra DevOps engineers, and it was like I couldn't count how many testers, QAs, and content editors, and also developers who were testing this. It was like a massive because we had to do like a regression testing basically for everything, right? So yeah. This is how it looked like. This is actually like a live or real Gantt chart for 5 of these solutions that we did go live on production in January. So as you can see, like lots of things were happening, and this is only for production. So you can imagine how it was also on test, QA, with developers, with everything. We have been doing this in 4 days usually. So the first day was like a freeze of code and content. Then the infrastructure team did the backup of the databases, upgrade them. Next day, they basically finished all of the setups. The third day, we were testing CM and CD. Of course, we were testing it already before, but this was like a final test, let's say, so to say, to go or no go. And then the next day, we went live. We have found lots of issues, missing files, of course, old solutions. Yeah, it's I think normal. Then we had to upgrade the connector, of course, to the latest one. And then there were lots of breaking changes because we were upgrading from 9.3 all the way to 10.4.1, which is like 5 versions, right? So we unfortunately still in the code we have found that fast query was used, so we had to replace it. We have replaced it either this way, so we just removed the fast from the queries, or for some of the things we have more or less just understood how it's working, so we have completely changed the code. So instead of queries, we were just getting the item based on the path because it was more obvious also for the other developers for the future, right? The biggest breaking change was also Solar 9.8.1. The biggest one was this threshold, which you need to increase because by default, if you are using SIA, the Sitecore Installation Assistant, probably your instance will just not work, maybe by default. So we need to increase this one to 3000 because by default it's 2000 and it's just breaking itself. I don't know whether you can see it, but on the left side, you can see how it was with Solar 8 and Sitecore 9.3. In the middle, you can see how it is with Solar 8 on Sitecore 10 instances. And on the right side, this is how it is with Solar 9.8.1. So really the schema changed significantly from string all the way to low case, all the way to low case sort for some of the fields. So this is really significant change. So if you are having some custom implementation of your indexing, so if you are hitting that populate schema, okay, I'm not on the internet. So yeah, you need to check this one definitely. So you need to disassemble the code by Sitecore and do some adjustment by your own. So because your code will just not work with the new Solar 9, of course. Also, Sitecore introduced this new populate schema helper factory. I think it's like a preparation for the future Solar versions because Solar is already on version 10. So I guess that Sitecore did this so they also support Solar 10 at the end, or yeah, in the future. And they did it quite nicely. So it's nice implementation, but you don't see it, right? So if you are just more or less using Sitecore as is, then yeah, it is like a configuration that is baked in. If you are customizing indexing and populate schema, this is your new friend, this class that was introduced with Sitecore 10.4.1 or Solar 9. You should use this one. So always this needs to be inherited. And then you are more or less just playing with this get add fields method, which you are customizing. Also, Sitecore changed the Solar document builder because boosting is working now differently. So also if you had some customizations of this class, you need to change it because it will just fail more or less. I'm planning to, or I have already started a series of blog posts, so stay tuned, and some more details will be in, because this is a lightning talk, so in 15 minutes I cannot go too much in deep. So this is like a sneak peek or teaser. So yeah, some learnings. If you are planning to use XM, I would definitely, before doing the whole shebang of the upgrade, definitely definitely get rid of some XP features, XDB, XConnect, personalization, all of that stuff. Just replace it with some composable architecture. Use some different services, or maybe Sitecore services, but yeah, not the one from XP. Also switch to Sitecore CLI as soon as possible, because then it will just slow you down during the upgrade. Also modernize the solution. Don't just upgrade it because you need to do the upgrade, but somehow clean it up, right? Don't leave it as is. So address some technical debt. So like upgrade project should be like a specific project. It shouldn't be like a one sprint thingy that we are just upgrading and yeah, everybody is happy. Also, communication is crucial, because you need to coordinate infrastructure, DevOps, content editors, QAs, whatever, product owners. So that's definitely a case. And yeah, so the coordination between the teams was the biggest challenge, I would say, to really achieve all of this in those 4.5 months. So yeah, the best time to do the upgrade was yesterday. The second best time is never. So yeah, no one said that. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for the sponsors.